What is easier to do if you're a woman? Hiding sexual arousal. Carry anything on your hip. Have someone help you with mechanical, electrical car work. So many people believe men just know how to do that stuff and will look down on guys who don't. As a woman, people assume I don't know what I'm doing with that kind of stuff. Sexist. But helps me, I guess. Survive the NICU. Apparently girls do much better in the NICU than boys do and tend to have less health complications. We heard that time and time again as parents to a 29-weeker girl. Quick source. But there are others. Science Daily. Com. Releases. 2015. 04. 150,428,151,510. HTM. When I was babysitting once and me, the girl, 7, and the boy, 5, were playing in the street and a woman came up and tried to take the kids away from me, asking all sorts of questions about who I was and if they were okay. She even asked if I was hurting them. She then tried to physically take them away from me. I imagine that wouldn't happen if there was a woman looking after them. Touch your friends, I think. Compliment any complete stranger. As a dude, I have to very careful complimenting strangers. I will actually tell my wife, check her hair out. It's super cool. Will you tell her? And she will. And it made that stranger's day. Just wish I could do that more often without being seen as creepy. This especially applies to children. It's a big no-no for a 41-year-old guy to compliment a child saying they look super pretty. Woman, no issue. Physical contact? If I feel like it, if I need a hug, I can just cuddle with my girlfriends. I don't think it's that easy for guys. Edit. Typo. Apparently women fighter pilots handle G-forces better than men, mainly due to being shorter and their heart not having to work so hard to pump blood to their brains. Short men also handle G-forces easier for the same reason. Changing babies in public. Many men's rooms do not have baby changing stations. Edit. In the United States. Help a child without suspicion or judgment. Consoling a lost child in public. More to the perception of male threat, no matter how unfounded. Since the majority of posts here are sexual, all bite. Sales. Seriously, female salespeople are on average much more successful than their male counterparts. In my industry, industrial sales, it's an open understanding that our typical sales contact, older middle-aged male, is much more interested in talking to females than males. Huge sales buff if you are young and at least a little attractive. If you are a hard-working, quick-witted and social young female looking for a high-paying job without education requirements, I would strongly encourage you to look into B2B sales. All of the technical knowledge you can learn on the job. I just read an article that said women are better at aerobic energy production. Sit down on a chair without accidentally sitting on yourself. Getting their hand into a Pringle can. I'm not afraid of getting accidentally hit in my private parts. It can hurt. But not nearly as much as men's, I believe. Edit. Yes, I've been hurt down there pretty badly before. A chair or a table. But I don't think it's the same because nothing is. Yawn now. Hanging down there. Plus I always thought like, what if I was a dude and suddenly someone pulled it so hard that it came out completely with all blood and nerves and skin and all that glorious stuff. Getting tattooed. May be anecdotal, but I have spent hundreds of hours in tattoo shops and women seem to sit better from what I have observed. Knowing for certain that the baby is yours. Distinguish between colors. I can't find the reference now, but I once read an article where some fraudsters were sneaking into a conference with fake badges. The fake badges had a slightly different shade of color. Women could spot the difference, but men couldn't. Small thing, but telling what a lotion, deodorant, body wash, shampoo smells like by the label. Women's is just labeled like vanilla or lavender, but men's get dumb-ass names like Wolfhawk or Champion. Having a baby. Super hard as a guy. Tons of martial arts throws. Female center of mass is lower down in the body than male center of mass, even before accounting for height differences. And it's absolutely crucial to certain martial arts throws. Like, you know that one throw you see all the time in movies where someone grabs a person from behind, and that person just leans forward and rolls them over their shoulder? Yeah, that's almost impossible for most men to do unless the stunt person grabbing them is helping with it. But for your typical woman, it's literally as easy as leaning forward. It takes basically no strength. It's all leverage. I'm a man who practices mixed martial arts, and 4 times out of 5 when I'm sparring a woman and I lose against her, it's because she threw me. Wear another gender's clothing. Have multiple orgasms. Get a babysitting job. The splits. Unless you are Jean-Claude Van Damme. Serving tables at a restaurant. While the overall sales between the men and women servers are about the same, the women get tipped much higher. People seem to have a better time at restaurants if their server is a woman. Peeing while thorny. Any sort of stretching exercise. Unless the man had been doing exercises in his early years, a woman is going to have more stretching. Nowhere it's more visible than yoga class. On the other hand, guys have strength and can hold yoga poses for longer, so there's that. Touch a breast. There are a lot of advantages to piloting high-performance vehicles that come from being smaller. Better strength-to-weight ratios help with G-forces. Having a smaller distance from your heart to your brain makes you less likely to pass out from stagnant hypoxia. And fitting into small places is great for fighter pilots and astronauts. Obviously not all women are smaller than all men, but women have a statistical advantage in this respect. Getting a match on Tinder. Have piercings. I've had like the basic one since forever, and have never been dress-coded for it. Even now when I have 3, but guys always have to take theirs out. This could be where I am though. Floating. It's a fact because women's fat is deposited differently in our bodies, mainly in our thighs. My husband tries to float but instantly sinks, whereas I can just float all day long. Exception is if you're a bigger male with a lot of fat around your thighs. Thrift shopping. Ain't nothing in the men's section but 2007 Fun Run t-shirts in bright neon colors. Date a lesbian. Daycare worker. Really any profession to do with kids. Cross a busy crosswalk on a bicycle. When I'm biking alone, I sit and wait as cars whiz right past the "Stop for pedestrians" sign. When I'm with my wife, the cars lock their brakes up to give her right of way. The difference in our expectations is stark. She's always like, "Come on, they're stopping. Why aren't you pedaling yet?" We have been taught to anticipate essentially opposite outcomes. Be pregnant. Fun answer. It's easier for women to learn how to rock climb. Men will use their upper body strength as an early crutch and muscle their way up a wall, while women have to develop correct form and technique to do as well when first beginning. This leads to much better climbers from my observation. Sad answer. Physically abuse the opposite sex. Many times if a man is in a physically abusive relationship, others will assume he isn't or can't be abused. There are numerous videos where actors have shown women hitting men in public and at best no one helps. Some will even laugh. Switch the roles and everyone comes running to help a woman being physically abused by a man. Shoot a gun. Women are willing to be taught and men think they already know how. Any gun instructor will tell you that women first-time shooters are better than men. Binaural hearing. Using headphones. Play different recordings per ear which each contain mostly gibberish with the occasional intelligible word thrown in. Women are consistently better at recognizing the words, particularly when 2 intelligible words are played at the same time. Men have more difficulty with this. The reason this experiment is fascinating and repeated many times is that cis women and trans women perform just as well as each other, with trans men and cis men together doing generally worse. We don't know why. Get support from others. I tend to feel completely alone in my suffering. Most times when I talk to someone they just want to tell me to tough it out and be a man. Sorry. I'm in grief from my son dying in my arms and my chronic illness has taken a turn for the worse this year and I'm just frockin' depressed all the frocking time. Yet everyone wants me to continue my life and my job as if everything is honky-dory.